And this session and all of them should be dedicated to Rifah Shlema of our dear Rabbi Yaron Reuven Shlita. His name is Yaron Ben Doris. Also Yehudis Bas Noach, Ariel Ora Bas Anna, Mimrasi Rachel Bas Brandel, David Shlomo Ben Sandra. Also a quick release of Moshe Shmuel Ben Pnina and Atzlacha Rabba, our dear friends Giberes Chana Bas Avraham Avinu and the whole family. And we continue with chapter number 22, and our topic is coloring. Coloring, okay. Then we start. And we are up to this section 4, Rabbinic Prohibition. So it's this very long chapter. Right? As we said last time, there are so many things to consider. Temporary coloring. The Rabbi is extended the prohibition of coloring to include cases in which the color is temporary and will endure only for a brief period of time. Thus, one forbidden by rabbinic law to apply color to the surface from which it will fade within a few hours, or from which it is easily be removed. Okay, so very, very, very straightforward, right? So again, according to the biblical law, as we said last time, what is prohibited is only when something done on a permanent basis, right? But rabbis say even if it's on a temporary basis, right, it's still absolutely forbidden. So, right, to apply color, right? And he said, right, what is forbidden? Thus, rabbis forbid to apply color to sources for which it will fade within a few hours, okay, or from which it is can easily be removed. So for sure it's not permanent. Okay, not permanent, forbidden by rabbinic law, and we're going to see in practical applications what it includes. Okay, so continue. B, coloring human skin. An act of coloring human skin, whether or not color is intended to remain there permanently, is permitted under the biblical law, but prohibited under rabbinic law. The poskim explained that it is impossible to color skin permanently, therefore it is not included in a rabbinical prohibition. Nevertheless, it is prohibited under rabbinic decree. Okay, so before we continue, so let's see. So here he goes all of the makeup for women, right? So if some women want to apply makeup for whatever reason, so it must be done before Shabbos. And whatever they call Shabbos makeup, and they say it's approved. Okay, they do approve. I don't know if anybody of you saw these letters that people go from synagogue to synagogue to collect. I'm not sure if it's a signature of that rabbi, and he show you for 3 seconds. He can type on the computer this letter, all these things. I don't know. So okay, is it true? No, I don't know. Right, same is this thing, what they sell. They sell, yeah, they sell. They say it's rabbinically approved, yeah, they can say the pig is rabbinically approved as well. Okay, according to some rabbis. Right. So let's the act of coloring human skin, whether or not the color is intended to remain there permanently, is permitted under rabbinic law. So meaning, right, under biblical law meaning it's never going to stay there permanently. Why? Because as we know, skin renews itself, right? It's obvious. So meaning it's going to go away. So when they do tattoo, I think they do under the skin. So that's why it stays. It's not the skin itself. Right. But it is prohibited to color the skin under rabbinic law. The poskim explained that it's impossible to color the skin permanently, as we explained, that skin is going to renew itself, and sometimes you have some stain or something, like especially when you work. I remember what I did. I don't remember what I did. Some kind of silicone or glue. It was so strong. I tried to remove with all of these other things, and then I understood, you just let it be, because you're going to destroy the skin. So just let it go, and few days later it came off by itself. But it was impossible to remove from the skin. So it was, I think, some kind of adhesive. Very strong. Okay. So meaning Hashem just renew the skin, and yeah, here we go. Painless removal. Right. Therefore, it is not included biblical prohibition. Nevertheless, the prohibition prohibited by rabbinic decree. So, and all of these people who ask this question about this mascara or other things on Shabbos, I mean, my question always the question is not in that. The question is much deeper. Why are you pushing it? Right. So, for example, if somebody is going to tell you, yeah, here's a glass of water, and you're very thirsty, and there is only 15%, there is a poison from this thing. It's not 100%. It's only 15% or 7.5%. Are you going to drink it? Right? I don't think any normal person would drink it. So here's the same thing. If it's forbidden by a biblical decree, and somebody say maybe it's not, so why are you pushing it? Number 5. Activities included. Here we go. Included in the Melachah of coloring. So he usually he says practical applications, but here's activities. Okay, no problem. Oh, okay. No, we're far away from practical applications. So let's see. Here are some activities included Melachah of coloring tzoveya. A, adding color to existing picture. So meaning it was color, but you improve it, and as we said, it would be a problem. We discuss it in Shabbos kitchen, right? In Shabbos kitchen, we said that it's a big problem, right? We had this question in our group, how to wipe out the spill. So if it's a wine, so don't clean it with a red towel or something. Right? Why? Because in a sense you're improving the color of the towel. Yeah, you don't care about the wine, and you'd like to this towel to stay clean. I understand that, but it looks like not. Right? So adding the color to existing picture. Right? Painting. I mean that's straightforward. Dyeing. Okay. Production of the dyes and paints. So production of the dyes and paints. We also learn. A little about in the Shabbos Home kitchen, Shabbos kitchen class, right? And we said it does not apply to foods. For example, that's why you're allowed to make instant coffee or something, right? you had water, right? And you painted, you dyed the water into the different color, into brown, or whatever color, black, whatever color it is. Okay. Black. Okay. We will now elaborate on this activity. So again, the list: adding color to existing picture, painting, dyeing, production of dyes and paints. And production is actually all of these things that it's volume 2 that we'll learn in volume 1, right? When we said plowing, seeding, all of these things, like improving the ground, gathering, all this. All the things, it's actually about production of the dyes. Okay. Paints. Okay. Continue. A. So we start from the first one. Adding color to existing picture. Color in an existing picture is forbidden under the Melachah of tzoveya. So tzoveya is coloring. This is true even if the picture has already been colored, and a fresh color is intended only to make the existing color darker shade. So meaning it's not allowed, of course, and also children should not do it. Even they're not obligated to keep Torah, but we start teaching them from the age that they understand. So it should be in our list of things to do before Shabbos, same as you have in your list to cover all of the switches in your house, to turn on the blech, air conditioner, whatever you do, like water urn, like whatever you need to do for preparation for Shabbos, also should be to hide all these things from kids, so they would not play with these things on Shabbos. Right. Continue. Right. So according to this halacha, it is forbidden even to add the color. So meaning the color was there, to add the color. And as we said in Shabbos kitchen, like to wipe spill with a similar color. Okay. With a cloth or a towel or whatever, apron of a similar color. Okay, so next one is painting. Painting is more obvious. It is forbidden under the Melachah of Tzaveh to apply paint to any surface of substance on Shabbos. So according to some of them, it's going to be on the Rabbinic level, or according some of them on biblical level, but it's absolutely irrelevant to us. Absolutely irrelevant. This prohibition applies even if one is permitted. One is repainting with the same color that was there previously. I mean, it's very similar to the previous one, but different. Coloring exists in picture, and now we're painting with something else, right? So again, it is forbidden under the Melachah Tzaveh to apply paint on any surface. So meaning even on a surface that when the paint is not going to stay. Okay, as we said, coloring the skin. This prohibition applies even if one is repainting with the same color it was there previously. So meaning, did you color? No, it was color blue, and you paint with the blue. So what exactly did you do? Right? Can you see the difference? I mean, majority of the time people would not see the difference, but it's absolutely irrelevant. So it's still called painting. Okay, even with the same color. So very good example. I mean, this Rabbi very precise with his wording, very precise. Okay, so continue. C, dyeing. It is forbidden under the Melachah of Tzaveh to dye any material at all on Shabbos. This includes, but not limited to, cloth, leather, wigs, and hair. Let's say so. Painting, I guess it's more like a harder material. Dyeing is dye any material. I guess more pliable materials, right? Included, just one second, but not limited. Included, not limited to cloth. So all of this, as we said, apply to kitchen for sure, right? The spills. I mean, it's, I think, the most practical. Leather. Leather is I mean, it would be an additional violation of brushing the shoes, right? So you want to apply the cream. That's the problem. So for example, there is like some scratch, and now it's supposed to be black shoes. Now it's a little white showing, so you're not allowed to polish your shoes, right? Of course, the bigger prohibition is to apply this cream and smooth it. But in addition to this, also this violation of coloring, dyeing. Wigs. I'm not sure what they do with the wigs, and hair. I'm not sure how one would dye hair, but okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter, it's still forbidden. Okay. Next one, D, production of dyes and paints. The prohibition of paints and dyes, the production of paints and dyes is included in Melachah Tzaveh, so production. According, one is forbidden to create a new color of paint by mixing two different colors on Shabbos. So meaning that they're not painting something, but they just created new colors. I guess if it would be exactly the same color, would it be forbidden to put like you have two jars of some colors and put them together? I'm not sure. Right, but if it's for sure two separate colors combined together, production of the new color is new paint or dye is forbidden. No problem. So it's very practical. So section number 6, and now topic is going to be soiling a cloth or other object. It is prohibited as an act of dyeing, Is it prohibited or out of that? So we actually learn about it in our class Shabbos kitchen, as I said. But let's see what we're going to add here. Again, our topic is soiling a cloth. So of course it's like when somebody spill a wine and you're using, for example, you have a towel and it's burgundy color, right? And you try to wipe out the spill. Do you want to dye the cloth? No. Do you want to dye this towel? No, right? But let's see. Okay, so A, those who view it is permitted. Okay. The Melachah of Tzaveh. So of course, why would somebody view it is permitted? As always, but we have to remind ourselves, in order to violate Melachah on a biblical level, so it must be done for a constructive purpose. So for something constructive. So when you wipe out the spill, that's not for constructive. You don't want like, if anything, you don't want this cloth to be like soiled or something, right? You want it to be clean, right? For sure, it's not for constructive purpose of dyeing this cloth, right? That's the way I understand. I mean that from what we learned before. So from the beginning, those who view it as permissible. Melachah of Tzaveh is defined as improving or beautifying the appearance of the object by coloring. Page 322. Okay, so yes, it was most likely it was last time, but okay. According to some authorities' rule, that if coloring an object has negative effect, it is not prohibited under this Melachah. The prime example would be soiling a towel or garment by using to wipe away blood from a wound. Okay, so here's another example. A towel does change color. However, what has really happened is that the towel has become dirty. Changing the color of the object by making it dirty does not fall into category of tzaveh. So tzaveh is coloring. So let's go over it again, and we're going to explain BeEzrat HaShem. So there are two opinions, right? And one says that it's allowed, one says it's not allowed. So another clown left a message in our one of our channels, commenting what he said. Here we go. I don't remember what the clip was, but it's absolutely irrelevant. So he said, no wonder the saying goes like 2 Jews, 3 opinions. We don't have 3 opinions, right? We don't have and even if there are 2 opinions, maybe I should make a clip about it. So even there are 2 opinions. So if you look at the rationale behind this opinion, so here is a clear opinion. Some say yes, some say no. So if you look at the rationale of the first opinion, absolutely true. Does not contradict anything that we learned before, right? And if you look at the second opinion, absolutely true. Is our sages say, it's words of the living God. So we don't have 3 opinions. There are 2 opinions, right? But at the end of the day, we go by what our sages decided. And many things, even 2 different opinion, opposite opinion, we go by halacha. With, for example, Mishnah Berurah. In the description, like in introduction to Mishnah Berurah, I don't remember who said it, but right, but some great rabbi said it, that Chafetz Chaim Zatzal, he went through all of the opinions, all of sages from the time of Gemara until his days, all of the opinions 36 times in before he made the decision to pass him this way or that way. Understand? So even there are two opinions, we still we cannot go right. I mean, many times we try to go by the middle way to satisfy both opinions. But if you cannot, there is a clear case what you can follow. Okay, so I think that's a very good example. So again, the Melachah Tzaveh is defined as improving and or beautifying the appearance of the object of coloring by coloring it, right? So meaning it's improving as we said before, it's a positive, a constructive purpose, right? Not to soil it, but to improve, beautify. Right. Accordingly, some authorities rule that coloring an object has if coloring an object has negative effect, meaning it's only a stain, right? It's not the full, it's not designer stain or something, right? It is not prohibited under this Melachah. So according to this opinion, it's not prohibited under any rule, be the biblical or rabbinical. Okay. The prime example would be soiling towel or garment by using to wipe away blood from a wound. Okay. Okay. So blood away. Somebody cut themselves. So of course we're not allowed to make wounds, right? On Shabbos, that's a separate prohibition of shkita, right? Right. And the second problem is the coloring. The towel does change color. So if somebody like clean this wound with a color, with a towel. However, what is really happened is the towel has become dory. So dory meaning was not, as we said, it was not your intention, right? You actually would prefer it would not become dory, right? Changing the color of the object by making dory does not fall onto category of tzaveh. So that's the first opinion. If you think about it, what we said before, very solid opinion. Okay, commentary. Even these authorities agree that one should preferably not to use cloth, right, of the same color, here we go, as the liquid he's wiping up. For example, red towel or for a blood, right? So that's classic example. I think it's even from Talmud, maybe from Shulchan Aruch, I don't remember, right? So again, even these authorities say let it be obvious that it was soiled. So soiled meaning somebody has a wound on Shabbos, wipe it with a white cloth or some blue or I don't know some other color, but not red. So now it's obvious that you spoiled it, soiled. If, however, this is the only cloth available, it may be used. Right, see practical application. So we're going to get the practical application. So again, there is one opinion that said since it's not for constructive purpose, since it's not for beautification of this cloth, so that's that is what it's not forbidden. So next one, B. Those who view it is forbidden. Other poskim maintain that although soiling an object is permitted under biblical law, it is forbidden under rabbinic law. According to this view, one is forbidden to use cloth to stanch the flow of blood on Shabbos. Right. For by wiping the blood, one is dyeing the cloth. Okay. So that's very short opinion. So let's review it again. Other poskim maintain that all the soil and the object is permitted under biblical law. So nobody said it is forbidden under biblical law, right? I mean, in these cases, because you ruin things, right? I mean, maybe not ruin if you can later laundry it, but for sure, you're soiling it. Okay, so it's not, but forbidden under rabbinical law. Right? Why? According to this view, one is forbidden to use a cloth to stanch the flow of blood on Shabbos. So you have what a person should do, something disposable, right? For sure, disposable. Nobody would argue with that. Okay, disposable napkin, a paper towel that was cut before, right? Other things. So continue. C. In practice, the final ruling has not been issued on this matter. Therefore, it is best to follow the stringent view. However, where it is impossible to do so, one may rely on a lenient view. Therefore, if there is nothing else available, one may use a cloth to wipe away blood. See practical applications. So he sent us to practical applications. Okay, no problem. So in practice, very interesting after my introduction, right? They did not reach any final conclusion on these things. So meaning it's if they did not, so we have more leeway, right? But still, as we said, trying to satisfy both opinions. What does it mean? Go by stringent opinion. In case of need, we can rely on lenient opinion and use even the cloth of the same color if nothing else is available. I'm not sure how it's possible, like maybe when people are away somewhere, I don't know, in a hotel, I'm not sure. But otherwise, usually when a person in the house has disposable napkins. Okay, so continue. D, soil and tissue and paper napkins. Soil and tissue. All authorities agree that in case a disposable object lack tissues and paper or paper and napkins, one is permitted to color double quotes, them by making them dirty. For example, one is definitely permitted to wipe up blood with napkin or paper towel. Right. Similarly, one is permitted to stop the flow of blood from the wound with a color cotton ball or a band-aid. Okay, so let's do from the beginning. So all authority agree, disposable things, there is no problem, right? No problem, because it is permitted to color them, making them dirty, right? Example, to wipe out blood with a napkin or paper towel. So some people have a problem with the bleed from the nose from high blood pressure from other things, because of other things, and it can start spontaneously, right? So they always have to have something in the, to cover to stop it. Similarly, one is permitted to stop the flow with the cotton ball, right, or band-aid. So we have to have this somewhere available, right, in the house, not only in the bathroom, maybe in the kitchen as well. So if somebody need it right away, so like in two places at least, cotton ball and band-aids. Okay. So next section, number 7, adding color to food and liquids. Okay, so I mean, even though we cover somewhere else, but here he's going to summarize, I think. Adding color to foods and liquids. Adding color to adding color to food for a flavor. Number 1, for a flavor. It is if the ingredient that colors the food is added only for its flavor, it may be added on Shabbos. As explained above, the Melachah of Tzaveh is defined as improving the appearance of the object. In this case, the purpose of coloring is not improving the food appearance. Therefore, it is not prohibited under the Melachah of Tzaveh. So it's very, very interesting. So let's start from the beginning. If the ingredient that colors food is it solely for the flavor, somebody using ketchup, right? They eat chicken and with the ketchup, right? No problem. So of course you're not interested in red chicken, but actually in something made in ketchup. 1 second. Is there any issues? Right, I know we skipped it. Yes, I realized it. Okay, no problem. So continue. 1 second. All right, so food again, it's for flavor purposes. There is no problem. So it's not considered its way. Okay. Right. So number 2, for decorative purposes, food that is not meant to be eaten, but is displayed purely for decoration, may not be colored for decorative purposes on Shabbos. An example might involve centerpieces utilizing the decanters filled with the colored water. It is forbidden to color the water in decanters on Shabbos. Right. So there is people do not know what to do with their money. Tell the truth. I mean, I'm signed up for some website, not website, like what is it? distribution list. So they send you all of these things. Very interesting, seeing the things on sale. Very interesting. But sometimes they have advertisement, and this advertisement was centerpiece roses, and how much is that centerpiece? Like for Shabbos, like $300. Like 250, like, or 170 is the cheapest. Like I'm not sure, like what people are thinking that to spend. I'm not sure. It looks beautiful, but 170 or $250 or 400 for the roses, like to stay in. I don't know, but that's what people do. And on that table, like on that picture, you see exactly what they're talking about. So some balls, like beautiful, like crystal balls, and they have a colored water. Right, I think that they have from around them some LED lights. So of course it's shiny, it's sparkling, looks very nice. Right, of course, if they do it before Shabbos, set up before Shabbos, there is no problem. But on Shabbos, you're not allowed to color this water, because this water, yes, it is water, it's food on one hand, but on another hand, it's not drinkable. Right, it's not drinkable. I'm not sure. Maybe it's food coloring. I'm not sure. I don't want to say, but nobody's going to drink it for sure. It's like it's only for decorative purposes, for the centerpiece. Right. Number 3, to make it easier to sell. Right, to make it easier to sell. The poskim rule that if the purpose of coloring the food is to make it more appealing to a buyer, the color may not be added on Shabbos. We're going to see the practical application, because I don't remember what would be the practical application. So again, make it easier to sell. The poskim rule that if the purpose of coloring the food is to make it more appealing to a buyer, so we're talking about Shabbos. I'm not sure what kind of buyers you have on Shabbos. The color may not be added on Shabbos. Maybe, the way I understand, maybe that's my guess. Maybe a person is doing on Shabbos to a food that he's planning to sell after Shabbos. That's my guess. So this would not be allowed. I mean, first of all, if I'm right, it's going to be preparation for a weekday, right? But would not be allowed. So B, adding color to beverages. Right. Most poskim rule that the rule that allows one to add flavor to food, even where doing so colors the food, applies only to food, but applies not only to food, but also applied to types of beverages. According to this view, which is one customary followed, one may add, right, instant coffee or tea to water on Shabbos, even though one thereby colors the water. However, poskim, so we're going to discuss when we review why he's using this strange language, right? That he adds a tea, coffee or tea to the water. Not usually that's not what people do, right? They add put in a cup. They put coffee, like instant coffee, sugar, and then add the water. So we're going to discuss. After however, some poskim maintain that adding color to water is prohibited by rabbinic law. Okay, since it resembles the manufacture of certain paints or types of paints, which are made by mixing dye into water. So it's not the main type of production. It's actually cooking. So that's why we're not allowed to cook on Shabbos. Okay, I mean main type of production of these dyes. This poskim agree, however, that one is permitted to add color to other types of beverages. Okay, also even according to this view, the prohibition is limited to a case in which water is placed into the container before the coloring ingredients, for example, coffee, is added. For only then does it resemble the manufacture of paint, right? So, okay, well, we're going to explain. First, they add water, and then necessary amount of paint of this powder. If, however, one reverses the order, placing the coloring ingredients into a container before the water, he has not violated this prohibition, since this act does not resemble the manufacture of paint. Let us again repeat, most poskim do not differentiate between the water and other beverages, but permit a person to add the flavor to water in a regular manner, even if the flavoring agent adds color. See practical applications. So before, I think we're going to leave practical applications for the next time. So, but let's see this. This very important. This one is very practical, right, on Shabbos. So again, from the beginning, most poskim rule that that allow one to add flavor to food, even when doing so colors the food, applies not only to food but also to all types of beverages. So meaning you are allowed to color in a sense the beverage, but of course, I mean, when you color in a sense water, you want to drink coffee. You don't care about the color, you care about the taste, you care about the final beverage, right? Or tea. Okay, according to this view, which is one is customarily followed, right? One may add instant coffee or tea to water on Shabbos, even though one is thereby colors the water. So, right, so here, let's stop here. So here he's saying, so you have a water and then you add coffee and sugar in that water. And that's how some people do, just so you know. Some people do, so, who wants to be stringent. However, some poskim maintain that adding color to water is prohibited by rabbinic law, because from water, the water is used for production of paints, right? Since it resembles the manufacture of certain types of paints. So meaning they just dissolve the way I understand it, and it's ready. But in most of the cases, it's not enough. You have to cook them. Right. This poskim agree, however, that one is permitted to add color to any types of beverage. So this poskim said that the only problem is only with water, because paints are not made on any other liquid but water. Okay. At least edible liquid. Of course, there is oil paints, but that oil is not edible oil. Right, it's some different oil. Okay. Also, even according to this view, the prohibition is limited to a case in which water is placed into a container before the coloring agents. Right, there is coffee. Right, so meaning, so according to this opinion, so if you put water first and then add coffee, it is a problem. So it's opposite. For only then it's resembled the manufacture process, manufacture of paint. If, however, one reverses the order, placing coloring agents, meaning coffee, right, into a container before water, has not violated this prohibition, since this act does not resemble the manufacture of paint. But as he said in the beginning, you can follow the straightforward as usually do. You have 1 cup. You can get hot water from water urn or from a kettle, whatever you have, and then in a second cup you add what is it? Coffee, instant coffee. You add sugar, and then you add the water from that cup. So that's the most accepted way. But some people, as we said, who wants to go stringently, they actually, so it's against this opinion, the second opinion, but according to the first opinion. Okay, that's what they do. They first put water, right? So meaning they reverse the process. Okay. So and another reason why they're doing that, I don't want to confuse it, but we learned it also in the Shabbos Shabbos kitchen, so we're not allowed to make a dough. So a dough is like when you have dry particles, whatever is it, and you add liquid and you do like one mass. So in this case, if you add the sugar and you have a lot of coffee, for example, and you add a little water, so in a sense it's like you're making dough, in a sense. So even in this case, we try to add all of the water at once. So it's going to be good according to all opinions. Or according to that opinion, if you put if you're going to use the water, right, and put your coffee and sugar, for sure it's not going to be like dough mass. Okay, so and not in any point. Okay, so that's two opinions, but again, you just follow our regular practice. Let us again repeat that the most poskim do not differentiate between water and other beverages, but permit a person to add flavor to water, right, in a regular manner. Even the flavor and agent adds color. Okay, so quickly checking time 1 second. Right, so for sure we can stop here. So we got up to practical applications. So we're going to talk about cosmetics next time, nail polish, face powder, all of these things, lipstick. Okay.